Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. I am here sitting down with Sampson from Ready to Love Miami. We're gonna chop it up and talk some real talk today. How you doing today, Sampson?
Loving life, baby. Loving life. And how you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. You know, I'm living life as well, bro. I'm eating chicken. I'm good. I'm feeling nice. So
You got,
can
you
never.
got any corn on the cob with your chicken or just chicken?
You know what? Corner cob's always with it, brother. Corner cob's always with it, with a little bit of coleslaw as well. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Don't
Always
be
got.
surprised if you see me on a corn on the cob video, a commercial coming soon. You never know.
Listen, well, as long as I can get some free corn on the cob, I ain't complaining, bro. If you can send that over to here, I ain't gonna complain. I ain't gonna hold
Brother's
you.
keeper.
You know
I'll
what I
hook
mean?
it up. Brother's keeper. I'll hook it up, man.
I appreciate it, my G. Appreciate that. Well, listen, look, before we get into the kind of conversation, we like to make sure we do some human verification, baby. Okay, make sure that you're actually human, you know what I mean? You know, because you're looking sharp right now, beard looking all good, you know what I'm saying? You're looking smooth, you know, and we also found out, you know, Brandy was loving one of your boys, you know what I'm saying? Loving your boy. I'm talking about you. So I want to make sure you're human, sir. All right. So we'll just do some human verification. First conversation. Or first question, I should even say. Favorite color, nice and simple.
I don't have favorites. So I'll tell you what I like to wear, though.
Okay.
Royal blues, blacks, and monotone silver grays.
Why? What does that do? Is that particular reason why you wear those particular colors?
It just kind of goes with every mood, every season. So I kind of just keep it simple. And they're, I don't know, I guess they just match my personality.
Okay. I like that.
Even killed.
Even killed. Yeah. Neutral. I like it. All right, cool. Favorite number?
3, the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Oh Lord.
The pyramid, man. The base is the strongest, right? The 2 sides keep it up. So 3 sides.
Always. It looked like you were throwing up the Rockefeller sign. I just wanted to make sure the Rockefellers know I'm with Jesus. Don't come and collect me, but collect him.
Over.
When they come for you, don't ask me a question. I don't know who he is. And question here: if you're on a plane had to land somewhere, okay, had to land somewhere as an emergency stop, where would it be?
Turks and Caicos Islands.
Why there?
The whitest, softest sands you can find anywhere in the world. You can dive for your own lobster, have it grilled up right there on the beach. Good people and awesome snorkeling.
Okay. I ain't mad at it. All right, cool. I ain't mad at it. I won't hold you. Okay, cool. And final question. Cereal or the milk in the bowl first?
Cereal.
Cool. I like that. Nice and simple. All right, cool. I think we've passed human verification. You are human. And so I guess our first question for you is, who is Sampson and what is Sampson's story?
Sampson, 48-year-old male, born and raised in Houston, Texas, with a father and a mother up until the age of 10, going on 11. Father passed away in a car accident. Mother raised 5 of us. My sister is Sherazad. She's the eldest. Then Jahan and Guerre. Nariman is the middle child. Sampson and Dominique. My mother wanted another girl, so she was trying to speak it into existence. She said, her name is going to be Dominique. My little brother, his name is Dominique. I'm an uncle to 11 nephews and nieces. They are spread throughout Austin, Houston, and Miami Beach. Been in federal government for 18 years. I just hit my 18-year anniversary 2 months ago. Just picked up life coaching and mentoring during the pandemic, and I love it. And I'm a triathlete, run, bike, and swim. Got to stay in shape at this half a century old age. And so I love doing that just to continue with the whole health initiative. And I love traveling the world. The world's a book. If you don't travel, you read only one page.
Okay, okay, I like it. I like it. So, like you said, running. Running is never an easy thing. I started doing some running this week. In fact, I did some today. It's not easy. So staying fit. How important is it for you to stay fit? What is fitness for you? In terms of your lifestyle.
Health as well. So I think that we have to always challenge our bodies.
Mm,
Um, I grew up playing football, born and raised in Houston, Texas. So football was it. Running back, quarterback, wide receiver. High school was mostly wide receiver. I was captain of my lacrosse team. Ran track. I was always active, and with three brothers and a whole soiree of friends, we played street ball. I broke 7 bones in my lifetime. 7 bones.
mm,
Yeah, so we're rough and tough down south, and but for me, I like to just push my body to the limit, and I still can't find anybody that can hang with me beyond 5 miles. Especially in my age group. So it's always encouraging for me just to encourage others, younger or older, to put the right things inside their body, always challenge themselves physically, and they can live a better quality of life.
love that. So you were breaking bones and out here. That sounds like an expensive childhood, sir.
It was crazy. My mom was always worried about me and all of us. And I have a huge, cousin network as well. My mother's one of five as well, just like me. And unlike
Nice.
us, 4 boys, 1 girl, she was 4 girls, 1 boy. So a ton of cousins spread throughout the US. So we have a lot of fun together over the holidays and reunions.
I love that. So you okay? So you're one of five.
I'm one of five, yeah.
Damn, how was that like growing up in a household of like especially when you
It
got
was
a majority boys? It's a different situation.
Yeah, it was awesome. My sister obviously is a tomboy as a result thereon too. But she's still super feminine, super lady, super classy, just like my mother. My grandmother, Ruthie Mae Jackson, she was the matriarch of the family, born and raised in East Texas, the Orange, Newton, Bondware area, right outside of Beaumont, where everybody kind of waves when you drive by.
Mm-hmm.
But growing up in the household, bro, it was awesome because we all learned early on how to cook, how to clean, how to do everything that a man should do and that a woman should do because my mother had
Yep.
to get out there and support us after my dad passed. So it was fun. We did everything together.
I love that. So obviously, and are you the oldest?
No, I'm the second to the youngest.
Ooh, wait, what is that like then, being in that position? Because, you can get I said dog pile, but you can get piled upon. You know what I mean? As boys, we like to be a little bit rough. Fight each other. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, bully one another. It's all horseplay at the end of the day. But what was it like for you being in that position as a
It
second
was good. It
of
was it was
siblings?
healthy bullying, quote unquote. It
Mm,
wasn't real bullying, but it was brothers
respect.
being big brothers.
Mm,
And I think that I became better at sports. My
mm,
competitive nature grew. It catapulted as a result of playing ball with my older brothers on the court. My mother put a basketball goal in our driveway, and so everybody came over to our house after school. Junior high, high school, those 7 years straight, it was Daryavala was the Madison Square driveway, which is like the Boston Celtics Stadium. That was like the Madison Square driveway of our neighborhood. Everybody came through, bikes all over the yard. So growing up with older brothers, they just boosted me, and so I was able to excel in sports, and I'm still doing it. Of course, I don't play tackle football anymore, but flag football within my agency, we won 3 straight championships, and I was the quarterback for those teams. So I take a lot of credit and take a lot of pride. We played right there at the Washington D.C. Monument there in the nation's
mm.
capital. So that's where we played flag football.
Jeez. Okay. Well, guy, I like it. And obviously, football's. I know it's a big thing for you guys. I mean, we call football, but football's different. We have a
Yeah,
round ball.
soccer.
Yeah, soccer, which technically football, but you guys call it soccer, which is another story in its own self. But so obviously you play football. So you play that. To what level did you play football to?
Just through my senior year in high school. Once
Mm.
I got into Morehouse College, everything became academic, academic, academic.
How
Morehouse,
come?
we suck in athletic sports. We're pretty good at swimming and golf and tennis, you know. But
football,
when it comes to football and basketball, we go to football games to watch the marching bands. We go to football games in Morehouse to watch Mahogany and Motion, which are the dancers from Spelman College. So that's why we went. The brothers went to see the ladies, you know.
I love it. I love it. So you was out here searching for the ladies in the dance.
Searching, bro. We were like, what?
Nothing wrong
with
that.
They were fine too, bro. Mahogany and Motion, you ever heard of them?
Do you know what? It feels like it's rung a bell, but I don't know.
You should have stopped by the AUC, the Atlanta University Center, when you was in Atlanta. You did a tour there, didn't you?
I didn't do a tour, but I went. In Atlanta. Yeah, I came past. Yeah, I was in there. Yeah.
Yeah, next time you're in Atlanta, man, with Sean and Jay and the team, you should definitely stop by and visit during football season. That way you can see Mahogany and Motion doing their dance. You can see the marching band coming off campus, down the street into the stadium. It's a spectacle, man. It's pretty cool to watch. And we look forward to it every single game, you know, because they have a lot of soul, a lot of rhythm, and a lot of history in terms of African beats and just, you know, the hip hop culture blended together to make a very live halftime experience.
I love that. Now, obviously, they've said obviously that, you know, you got this thesaurus, Sampson. They say you're the human thesaurus. You be using big words. But I want to know, have you always been that way, or is that something that, you know, as you've gone to Morehouse and institution, that's what's been cultivated in you? Is that something that's been cultivated in you?
Yeah. So, you know, we grew up humble beginnings. But it was through hard work, determination, and a whole lot of prayer that allowed me to enter the gates of Morehouse. And that's when I was truly influenced and impacted by so many different awesome professors, all of them having doctorate degrees. So they were subject matter experts within their field. And so we learned, and not just that, but Morehouse and Spelman, they're known to bringing in the best speakers from all over the globe, not just the US, to come and speak to us, to enrich our minds and penetrate us and leave a mark. And that's what they did. So when you're around that for 4 straight years, and it's not just the professors, and it's not just your counselors, and it's not just your fellow students, it's also your own individual, independent drive to pick up a book and learn everything you can to then impact the world that's before you. The words come. You know, and so I think it's just the way a lot of the HBCUs are built. So once you graduate, you can go into corporate America, you can go into the public sector or the private sector and exceed. That way you can now start doing the hiring and you can start making the influence on that fabric or that company or corporation. And so, yeah, that's what happened, bro. It's Morehouse really changed your boy. It really opened up so many opportunities for me and everybody that I'm connected to.
I love that, man. And I think that's a beautiful thing as well, because I think as men, you know, we want to see more educated men, men who are well, I want to say, you know, men
groomed.
that are, yes, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Well groomed. Do you know what I mean? And that's not just in education, but in life. As well, you know, how we are characters developed as well. So that's why I like that. So for me, I have no problem. If you're thesaurus, I love it, because me too. I like to use big words. So I like to use words, you know, because I think again, it's just about again, if you've got that kind of range, there should be nothing wrong with you being able to use those particular words as well. I think it just shows again the knowledge that you have, you know. So never a problem for me. Just wanted to find out if that was the case for you. But okay, so. For you growing up then, like you said, obviously your dad did pass away, and I do put my condolences on that as well. You know, I think you spoke quite fondly, you know, at the beginning of your kind of relationship that you had with him as well. So tell us a bit more about that relationship that you had with your father before he passed. Again, once more.
Yeah. So my dad is of Persian descent, so modern day Iran. Came to the United States on a full ride scholarship to get his master's and his doctorate, and he met my mother at an HBCU, Prairie View A&M University in Texas. And he had struggles because he married a Black woman. Can you imagine? she also had struggles because she married outside of her race, outside of her Christianity. So the family dynamic, even though it was rich, even though it was so diverse, and it has so many layers for us to really understand and have a different conversation to the world that was going to be introduced to us as adults. There were some challenges that came with it. And so him growing up in India, Bombay specifically, and coming here, started off being accepted where he was raised, coming over here not being accepted. So he was going through his own internal mental struggles with society, and then trying to balance that with his marriage created some difficulties in the home. And so my mom, had, her faith was strengthened during those moments, during those times, those years. And he ended up converting from Zoroastrianism to Christianity because my mother and him started going to church together. He fell in love with Jesus Christ. And so his family kind of, they didn't outcast him, but it was a shock that, he became a Christian, and they didn't like it. But they still had love for their son. They still had love for their sibling, even though he did marry outside of his race and religion. The tenements, and I'll get to your answer, the tenements behind, Zoroastrianism and Christianity are so similar. It's still love, it's still forgiveness, it's still understanding, still compassion, still community, giving back. And so they both saw the similarities within their religions. So that's where the love foundation was placed on our faith. Losing my dad at 10, going 11, he was everything. At that age, he's Superman, right, to me and to my siblings. I remember playing football, your football, soccer in the field with him, because that's what they did. They played cricket back in India. So I remember playing soccer with him. He was always taking us to the swimming pool. That's my love of swimming is still to this day. I swim every other day almost. But he was so educated. He was just so smart. Like when he showed up to Prairie View A&M University, my mother fell in love with his dynamic because he would always be dressed up with a suit and tie on the way to class. This is how they are back in India. It takes education so serious. So it's either engineering or doctors is the two options for them. And so my mother was always impressed with his work ethic, his depth, and his style of dress. And I kind of picked up on that, how he was when I looked at all of his pictures coming up, and I kind of carried that into my professional life. So he was a great influence to me to take education serious. How he treated us as children, how he treated my mom as a lady. He was a good role model to look up to, and he kept us in church. So even when he fell off and went up to heaven, I still had pastors around me that served as mentors.
That's deep, bro. That's deep. Especially as a man as well. I think it can never be underestimated the impact a father has on a son, especially on an identity as well. And I think you slightly touched on that as well in terms of even just the clothing he might wear, and kind of almost taking a little bit of a note out of that book as well. In terms of crafting your identity as well, like what kind of impact did your father have in terms of making you the man that you are today?
They both taught us to first learn our roots beyond what was shared orally. You have to read. And a lot of our history is not written. So read everything that's written, right? Use discernment to decipher who's the author, because some of what's written about us is just not true, right? And then also look for similarities versus differences between cultures, between customs. That way we can identify with different people, regardless of walks of life or where they're from geographically. So even though I consider myself an African-American, a Black man, I still identify with both heritages, both sides of my family. So we honor the calendars, we honor the food. You know, even though we heard the languages spoken, we didn't really grasp onto it at that early age. So none of us spoke his languages or his different dialects. The dude was just off the chain brilliant, you know, and so it was no surprise when my mother fell in love with this guy because of what was in his heart and how we still valued love for her versus everything that he knew in his past, you know. And I think that's just the love that a Black woman can offer. So it's always been attractive. So I've always said, you know, for my father being, you know, non-Black, can come to this country, meet a Black woman, fall in love with her for who she is, based on her history, her family dynamic, her class, her style, and how she presents herself to the world. I'm just like, how can I not, you know? And so it's a beautiful thing. So I called it Blursion, Black and Persian combined. It's corny. You know I'm corny. You already know that.
It's all good, man.
Blursion. And so we identify with both. But like I always tell my boys, you know, when I get pulled over, they don't see the Persian man, you know, they see a Black man. And so I'm Black through and through, 100%.
I feel that. I do feel that as well. So obviously, then, you know, because that's like I said, I love that you blend two cultures together as well for you as well. Do you feel like you fall on any? I know it's probably more of a difficult question, but do you feel like you fall on any particular more side than the other, or do you feel like you toe a good line between the two?
Yeah, I mean, there's more identity and familiarity with my African heritage, with my African American roots, simply because, you know, my dad's side of the family was still there. And, you know, he eventually brought over his brother and sister, and both of them are passed now. But I do have some cousins over here and nephews and nieces from that side of the family here in Tampa, and also in Virginia, where I lived for almost 10 years. So the foods are always teasing my palate, on my tongue. The aroma is always teasing my nose. So the Tantra vibes were there within that side of the family. And again, because it was Persian, but Indian geographics, they fused it. So we grew up with a lot of Indian dishes, you know, a lot of curries and dung socks and doni puris and just foods that just make you crave, you know. But, you know, my mom, there's something about soul food that gets inside of your spirit. The fried chicken, the collard greens, the cornbread, the mashed potatoes, the baked mac, you know, the sweet potato pie. Okay, sweet potato pie, not pumpkin. You know, I know Thanksgiving's on the way, but sweet potato pie. You know, it's different. You know, I'm talking about Marvin Gaye and Al Green and Sam Cooke. You know, the whole Motown sound. It does something different in terms of how you dance, right? You know, when you see us as entertainers and dancers and historians, the way we dress and the way we carry ourselves in public, because we have to be confident when we're going through Jim Crow, when we're going through civil rights, no matter what, keep your head up high. It changes, you know, who we are as a people, not just, you know, as individual, but like the culture is sexy. The culture has swag. The culture is trying to be mirrored across the globe. Everybody wants this, right? So I think it's hard to avoid which one had a more firm stronghold on me, on us.
That's a fair point. No, that's a fair point. And I respect that you shared that as well. And then obviously, you know, being raised, like I said, being raised by your mom, who was strong, as you mentioned as well, and the fact that, you know, you guys were crushing cans to make things work and stuff like that as well. Tell us a bit more about, you know, your relationship with your mom and growing up with your hardworking mom as well. What was that like for you?
Her name is Jane Evelyn Jackson, maiden name. And I told you she's one of five, so I called them the Jackson Five. She master's in education from PV. Small town called Crockett, Texas is where she was raised. Her father was a cobbler. He shined shoes for a nickel back in the day. Her mother was also a teacher and also the neighborhood mom. She used to make all their clothes by hand. You know, any kid in the neighborhood that didn't have a meal or parents were working that grandma was cooking for them and feeding them. And when the parents got home, then she sent the kids home. My mother was a product of that. So that teaching, nurturing side is who my mother is. She's now the matriarch. She's now the eldest in my family. And she taught us how to value a penny. She taught us how to value people and to put God first and people a close second. But when you see your mother doing everything from opening the hood of the car and fixing it, you know, to fixing things in the house under the cabinet because dad ain't there, to, you know, helping somebody out on the side of the road because they're carrying groceries and picking them up, to, you know, cleaning houses in the evenings because the teacher's pay is still what it shouldn't be, you know, to this day. We just value work ethic, man. And we realized that there was no job above us or beneath us. And she just taught us how to be very goal-oriented and focused and save, not just spend. That way you can have something for a rainy day.
Man, that's you know, the background. I mean, similar kind of background in terms of like, you know, that hard working background, trying to make things work. And it puts a different kind of character in you, you know. You know, it makes you appreciate life in a different way as well, you know, and it creates a work ethic that is unique as well because you understand what it is like to be without everything that you actually want in one whole go. You know what I mean? So I definitely appreciate that as well. In terms of you sharing that, you know, going forward as well. And so for you, then obviously, we spoke a little bit about your dad's impact in terms of identity. How would you say that your mum's impact on your identity shapes you today? You know, in terms of identity wise.
Got to repeat that. I'm going to turn up my volume, Kojo, but that was really low.
Okay.
Say that
Okay.
again,
No
please.
worries. No, I was saying. So in terms, obviously, your mum, like we spoke about your dad's impact in terms of your identity and who you are now. What would you say is the impact of your mother and how she's impacted Sampson now?
How did my mother impact me?
Yeah. So to impact, how did your mum impact you to get into the Sampson that we're seeing today?
Seeing today. Oh, yeah.
Mm,
How to speak to a lady.
mm,
Um, the simple things, you know, it really wasn't verbal instruction. It was more just like follow through actions. So whether it was standing next to her in the kitchen while she was cooking without a measuring cup, how to cook, um, where to walk next to her down the street, depending on where the closest car is, you know, what side to put her on to protect her from a car skipping the curb. If I can buffer the blow for a woman, much better for the woman, right? How to make sure that there's eye contact when I'm speaking to a lady or a man or a child or anyone. Honor the person that you're in front of. Listen and pay attention. That way you can have meaningful interactions. How to always forgive because there's going to be people, including yourself, that need forgiveness daily. And that's the only way that we can truly embrace love is through that initiative of forgiveness. My mom is a Christian woman, and I mean, she's the type of person that can throw scriptures here and there, but she's also real and down to earth, where it can just be life lessons versus something that's biblical. So she'll always give you the real, and every once in a while she'll back it up with some scripture, you know.
mm.
So that's the type of influence my mom has had on me is just to value people really, and live by the golden rule, which is do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
I love that. Okay, so obviously then having those great qualities, um, you finally get into dating. You know, I always like to ask this question. Talk to me about your first love. Hmm?
My
What was
first
that
love,
like for you? First love.
I lacked vulnerability.
Mm,
There's none. Um, I knew how to have quality conversations because that's how we were all raised in the family. I knew how to make someone feel special because I knew how to feel special, from feeling special from other people. Um, I knew how to give whatever I had, what I could, to give to someone else to make them feel special, to make them feel seen. But I lacked vulnerability. And even though the conversation was always solid, there was a part of my heart that wasn't guarded. It just did not know how to open up and reveal. And so that was my first love experience. She thought I was open, but I knew I wasn't. There were these things that I didn't share that she was sharing in her own way and right. And even though I thought the messaging and the conversation was reciprocal, I knew I could give more. I just wasn't, So my first true love was in college. What I was doing in high school, I was just focusing on, partying and sports and, just dating random. But college is when I first had my true love experience.
So why do you feel like there was a level that was not given as vulnerability to your first love? Like, what for you was happening to you at the
I
time?
think it was just the fact that inexperience in having, long-term relationships. There was nothing for me. Like junior high, I was just hanging out with my boys. High school, I was dating, but there was nothing singular long enough to evolve into something that would make me reveal. And so college is when you're free as a bird. You're expanding your horizons. You're like trying to be a man for the first time, 18, 19 years of age, trying to show that you're, leaving the boyish ways and adopting the manly ways. And so I think my heart was ready to experience something more. I just didn't have the experience prior to.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so then obviously from that moment then, next relationship that was, I guess, long term, what was that like and how long were you dating for?
3 years, um, beautiful mind, how she used to write poetry, and how she even wrote me poetry and made me want to start picking up a pen and write. Same way Tupac has a book of poetry outside of his hip hop lyrics. I was inspired by her. She had a child and ex-husband. They were going through a separation, and it was more that situation that kind of led to our demise because he was still trying to work that out through the separation. He kept on saying to me, he was like, "You're the only thing preventing me from rekindling that flame." And I was like, dang, if I was in his shoes, how would I feel? And I was just trying to think with love in my heart, even though I had feelings for her. His feelings were much stronger because he had a child with her and he was doing his best to try to rekindle. And when you think about love and forgiveness the way it's written, maybe they could rekindle if I'm not in the picture, right?
Mm.
So that didn't work out. And even though I saw myself starting to open up and become vulnerable with that second love in my life, that situation kind of led to the disarray. So I just walked away kindly.
So what got you? Well, I mean, what got you there? But did you know that she, was still coming out of? I guess hadn't fully finished.
2 years in the making. It was 2 years in the making. He did not want to sign papers. He did not want to go, finalize everything. And she really wasn't pushing it hard. They had separated. They had separate places. He would see the child, a couple times through the week. He lived just 30 minutes away, so it was close proximity. Sometimes he would show up unannounced, and I'm there, and I'm playing with his son, and that's hard, sometimes for a man to see. And so, and I fell in love with that boy. I fell in love with him, and I always said to myself, I would at that age, I was not even considering a woman that had a child. I was just like, nah, I want to do this fresh, on my own. But I loved how my ex-girlfriend was as a mother. I liked how this boy was learning from me. His name was Zion. He was this beautiful boy. And I liked the nurturing spirit that she had for him. And it reminded me of my mother and how she was with me and us. So, yeah, it was tough. It was really, really tough, Kojo. I didn't know how to handle the situation, but I definitely didn't want to be in the middle of something like that with my heart open and opening more when this man was doing his part to rekindle something with his ex and his son.
So you said obviously it took you 3 years to be, if I heard correctly, 3 years before you were getting you were getting to that space where you're getting vulnerable, more and more vulnerable.
I
Why do you
was, yeah,
feel like
it was vulnerable at, probably the 1 year mark. But, she was teaching me how to be vulnerable, because like her whole dynamic was out there. I met her mom and dad, I met her best friend, she met my family. This is like the first time I brought her home to Houston to meet my mom, with the son. So even the parts where I'm lacking in vulnerability, she was getting those fill-ins from the family, and so you can't help but, open up when family is opening up in areas where you are kind of hesitant. And so, yeah, it was a beautiful thing, Kojo.
So you said a beautiful thing there. You said she was teaching you how to be vulnerable. So would you say that you didn't know how to be vulnerable
I
before
did not
this?
know how to truly be vulnerable, no, just because I didn't have those experiences in high school, or just one really in college.
Mm.
This was the one we're talking about now. She was my first real love experience where my heart was revealing more than what it used to.
Mm. Can I ask a question? Do you feel like losing your father early on in age kind of curated your invulnerability? So, like, sometimes as men, we're told to be strong, suck it up, get on with life. I'm not saying that your mom said that. I'm just saying in general, where the life teaches us that we should be strong, get on with life, you know, move forward, kind of thing. Because I'm trying to figure out where your invulnerability is coming from. So why you didn't pick it up or why you didn't learn it? Do you know what I mean? For you, would you say that's part of it, or is that something else? Would you say?
I was just having fun, man. I was, I see where you're going, and good
Mm.
question. And especially based on what you saw on television, I can see where you're going. But no, I just was having fun, man. I just didn't have long-term relationships where you should be vulnerable. You can't just be vulnerable with anyone, right? You can't be vulnerable when you're just dating random people. So my high school was just dating. My college years, a lot of partying too. But I did meet someone that was special. Just one girlfriend out of 4 years. And that wasn't even over a year long, that relationship in college. So my first real relationships happened beyond college. We're talking about mid-20s going into, late 20s. So just didn't have experience with love situations. Um, so I just think it was just that. I was just really focusing on getting out of debt. My 20s was just focus on becoming debt-free. I just wanted to get all the college loans paid for and really just start climbing fiscally, financially. The fiduciary means I wanted those to be settled. So
Okay.
just to close on that, women really weren't the priority at that time. It was really my degrees and becoming financially free and just exploring what line of profession or what career setting I wanted to end up in.
Okay. So I guess I'm trying to. In my head, I'm trying to uh, understand it. So, for instance, okay, like you said, you might have been focused on having fun, but focus on having fun doesn't make you invulnerable. Like I know that I would have been not as vulnerable as a youngster, not because I was having fun, which I did have a little bit still. Um, it was because I know how I grew up. I grew up not to be vulnerable. I grew up with, we keep everything in the house. I grew up with, you don't talk back. If you got something to say, you wait till your parents say it. You know what I'm saying, and then you kind of get an opportunity to talk. You're kind of shut down on the emotional aspect. That's what caused my invulnerability. But we're not born to be invulnerable. So I'm wondering where your invulnerability is then coming from, because I can't see it. Maybe it's me. I can't see how in being invulnerable comes from having fun. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're having fun, you're having fun.
Yeah. Oh well, I think with family and friends, they kind of knew. Well, it depends on the social dynamic of
Yeah, yeah.
vulnerability, right? So so with family and friends, the vulnerability is always there. Like my closest friends, they there's nothing that they don't know, right? They know
Okay.
everything. Yeah. But with someone that's outside of that immediate circle, that's brand new, I guess there was just the inexperience where I didn't want to just open up and share because I didn't know how long they were going to be around, really. And
Okay.
so I don't know how to really explain
You've
that.
explained it.
Yeah.
You've explained, bro. That's what I was waiting for. You've
Yeah.
explained it, bro. So my question is now, why did you feel like someone might not be around long enough?
Because, bro, I was I was moving and shaking. I knew that after Morehouse, I was going to be all over because my study abroad experience while I was in Morehouse, I went to the Dominican Republic to learn Spanish, to study history and culture. I chose the DR over Spain because I wanted the Black experience, the Quisqueya Indians, Native Indians, the Africans, and the Hispanos, blending and creating Dominican culture. So I chose the DR because of those reasons. And that's where I learned salsa, merengue, and bachata. And I wanted that true, rich experience that kind of relates to our experience. And then from there, the world was a book, like I said earlier. I just wanted to continue to travel. I wanted to, stamp passports. I didn't want to get into anything long term. I just really wanted to find my own identity in a career. And I definitely wanted to explore myself as a man and, have fun. And by saying that, I want to make sure your audience understands this very clearly. I was not a player when I was in college, just because I
Mm.
wanted to experience my manhood. I was a late bloomer. I was a virgin all the way through junior high and high school. I got to college and I got buck wild. But you as long as a man can communicate to a woman, this is what I am, this is what I need, this is what I want. Don't expect this, don't expect that. You can expect this, expect that. Just be real. A woman will be real in return. Okay, well, I
Okay.
don't want that. All right, cool. On to the next one. But let the woman decide based on your truth, based on where you are presently. And so I made sure that whoever I was in front of, they knew exactly where I was in life. And I definitely didn't want to settle down at that point. So
Mm.
that's you're getting some facts here, bro.
So what's the fear
Say that
when it
again.
comes? What's the fear when it comes to vulnerability? What's the fear?
I, I don't know why you think it's fear, man. It's just inexperience. I didn't have the experiences. I wasn't focusing on love, man. I wasn't focusing on a woman.
Okay. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But granted, your first love, then the next relationship also, she taught you how to be vulnerable
She taught me
in
how to be
those
more vulnerable.
aspects.
She did. She really did. She taught me how to be more vulnerable than I knew on my own. Just because she was truly an open book and was able to share some of her uh, challenges in life with girlfriends, with guy friends. with her ex-husband, with being a single mother, and not just me hearing it, but me seeing it. Those two elements combined, it my heart was pouring out, supporting her and loving her, and I just loved seeing her network really come together to help her and help her son, and it was beautiful to watch. It was a great community. So for me, I was just one of many that was a part of that show of joy. And through that joy, I was able just to open up and share some things that happened to my mother, and share some things that happened to, my father, my grandparents. Hold on one second.
You're good. Do your thing. I'll mute you. You're good.
Hey, all right, go ahead.
You're good. That's right. I muted you. You're good. So okay. So obviously, so by her opening up, you then opened up.
Yeah,
Okay.
more. I opened up even more. She always thought I was open, but I opened up even more because of everything she was sharing. So I kind of like match what people do. When it comes to vulnerability in my past, I used to not be vulnerable until I realized someone else was vulnerable. And then I would start to develop that rapport with vulnerability. Um, but beyond her, because she taught me it's okay to initiate the vulnerability, I became more like that in my future relationships, because sometimes it's the woman that's waiting for a man to show vulnerability so she can
Mm.
then be vulnerable with him. Um, so I learned that from her, and I credit her to this day for making me that type of person. We're still friends.
Okay. And that's not the one that came on the TV show, is it?
No. That's a different one.
No.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's uh, that's Alabelle that came on the show. This is a different woman altogether, way before Alabelle.
Okay. All right. So I mean that she came on the show. We saw her. Very beautiful woman, by the way.
Yeah.
You have exquisite
Big
taste,
ups,
so I appreciate
Alabelle.
that.
What's up?
Shout out. And
Shout out.
so that relationship didn't. It obviously I know now it's no longer there. But what was the cause of that relationship not going long? Not taking it to its furthest conclusion, which is obviously marriage. I'm guessing maybe you didn't have that in mind at the time. I don't know. But what was the reason why that relationship didn't flourish the way
So
it
she's
ended?
with Department of Homeland Security,
Okay.
and she's prior military. So
Okay.
big ups to our military. And I'm also a product of Homeland Security, up under the agency. It's called FEMA, Federal Emergency
Oh
Management
yeah, yeah.
Agency. And so we have similar backgrounds. We were always traveling. She was hustling. She was working government. I'm working government. Her side hustle was real estate. My side hustle was just traveling the world. And so there was a lot. And I was always gone on deployments. I was always gone for personal reasons. So while we were dating, and she's a mom on top of that. She's a single mother, and so her schedule was swamped. My schedule was swamped, and I was rarely even in town whenever we were going out. But at this age, all throughout my 40s, I make sure if I'm dating someone, it's just one person. So
Mm.
during that span of a year, I was just seeing her, and you can't just invite anybody onto this TV show with you. But she was gracious enough to fly down from DC to join me on the show, because she definitely represents the type of woman that I'm attracted to. Poised, polished, professional, intellectual, and a great conversationalist. She's somebody that
Mm.
lifts people up with every conversation. She never has anything bad to say about people, and if it comes in out of her mouth, it's constructive. It's a way for anybody to be able to receive it, and so that's the type of woman that represents me as a girlfriend.
Mm. Okay. Okay. I'm hearing you. So for you then, because we spoke about past relationships, because obviously that was one of the main things that Cherie said that she found was difficult, vulnerability with you. That was one of the hardest things. Do you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah,
That was the
yeah, she
vulnerability that
was
was the
spot
issue.
on. Sharice was spot on. Like all the girls said the same thing. Like Sampson's cool, he's a gentleman, he's genuine, but he doesn't open up. And I said this on a couple of panels and lives that I had, a couple of interviews post the show. Um, there was no one there for me, Kojo. Great people, but I'm not going to open up and be vulnerable to someone I don't see a future with. So you just got to just be nice and be a gentleman, still be yourself, still be authentic. But there's consistency across the entire cast, not just Charisse, but Brandy, Looney, Shakira, everybody that was on the couch with me and Tommy at the reunion. He had those people up there for a reason. Those were my tops, and I was their tops the entire show. And so they all said the same thing. The gifts. He's a gentleman. He's a nice guy, but he doesn't open up. And so, like even Looney said, even I, Sam, I was getting friend vibes from you. You treat me like you only want to be a friend. And I saw the ladies on the show as just that, just great people. And I thought all of them were ready to love, just not me. I wasn't ready to love them, and I think they all knew that.
Do you think you have a defensive position when it comes to vulnerability?
A defensive, elaborate, please.
Yeah. So you're when you start, you start off on the baseline of I will I won't share until I trust 100% you.
Oh
So
yeah,
your baseline.
100%. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Spot on. Like if there's no trust with if I can't trust you to be cool and collective in your own space, then there's no way I'm gonna trust you in my space. Like if I see you acting up in your own rights, there's
Mm-hmm.
no way I'm gonna trust you with me or my family or my friends or my circle. There's no way. So yeah, there's going to be not just hesitation. It's going to be a straight up wall. Boom. This is as far as you will go. There's no way you get in.
Do you know? The reason why I'm asking this is because again, I'm projecting here, and I'm saying I have a defensive position when it comes to vulnerability, right? So if I was to start on a baseline, I'm behind the baseline. What I mean, I'm in a very defensive position, right, when it comes to vulnerability, and the reason being, again, is because part of me has not. Um, it was difficult to share deeper components of my life because I felt like if I share that, I'm giving a lot of myself to someone, and I think you said it as well, that they may not be there. So sharing these deep things, the person may not be there for the entire of the time, but that's because I've learned how to be really independent, and that means also I've also learned how to self-soothe, meaning when I had emotional needs that the parent giver should have taken care of, i.e., my dad. Um, I didn't get that, so I had to self-soothe, which is where a lot of uh, us as black people are. Daughters, sons, they are self-soothing, and so they learn how to be defensive with their vulnerability because they had to self-soothe. They've had to hold themselves, and no one else is holding them for them. So I can't trust anybody with that because if I trust somebody with that, I potentially, you could take it and run away with it. Do you know what I mean? So what I'm saying to you is your vulnerability from the defensive line coming from more than just being about being fun? Because the reason I'm saying that is because I'm hearing you, and I'm also challenging you. Like I feel like just having fun is not making you start off on the defensive line. Like it feels like there's something more that we're not pulling from, or at least we're not getting from yourself.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
the
man.
vulnerability pieces.
Good
You know what I
stuff.
mean?
Good stuff, man. Yeah, yeah. I like where your head is at. Like you're obviously using both sides of your brain tonight, Kojo, and I appreciate it. It's really why I was looking forward to coming on to your show, because you ask good questions. We all have a stance to protect what we love and what we cherish, right? And for me, that's family. I'm going to protect family the same way my grandparents did, the same way my father did, my mom did, and we all are doing now with siblings. So yeah, there is a defensive nature to me opening up to just anyone. Yes, it's very strong. Has it prevented me from opening up to the women that I love? The 3 women that I've loved? No, not at all. All of them will say that Sampson's heart is on the line with them. They will never say that he's closed or not vulnerable. You know, all of them to this day know exactly my pains, my progress, my struggles, my successes, my points of failure, where I hurt, where we hurt as a family. So there isn't a fear doing that with the right person. The fear comes in when, or the inability comes in when it's just the wrong person to be like that with, because there's more on the line to just Sampson, Armand, Sam, Daryabala. It's the Jackson family. It's the Daryabala family. It's a reputation within our family we want to uphold, and we want to keep clean, and we want to keep polished for generations to come. And so, yes, sir, is there a defensive nature there? 100%, 110% actually. Question.
How you feeling right now? How you feeling?
I'm loving it, man. I know you have a follow-up. I'm ready for the follow-up question on that.
I guess I'll make it my last question on this particular part. Okay.
Monday Night Football, man. Monday Night Football, baby.
Your team better be winning.
Well,
okay.
The thing is,
so...
I was at Thursday Night Football game here in Tampa. I'm here visiting, doing Hurricane Ian recovery efforts. I told you that, didn't I? I thought I was on the phone with you. It must have been somebody else, but and we did. It was Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens, was playing Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, and but yesterday Tom Brady won against the LA Rams. It was a great game, awesome game. Came down to the fourth quarter. But tonight is Monday Night Football. Ravens are playing again. He's my favorite player in the entire league, Lamar Jackson, the quarterback, number 8. So anytime he's playing, I'm watching. But today, I'm with Kojo. So what's up, man? What's your follow-up question?
Do you feel like, okay, for you, do you feel like in this interview you're being vulnerable in this moment?
In this interview?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the same every day, bro. So just to let you know, Kojo, I meet with people every single day, dozens of people every day, face to face, via Teams, Zoom calls, mostly professional, some personal, mostly for work, sometimes for coaching, mentoring, just people that need some advice, some counsel, some guidance. And so I do this all over the United States, and I've been doing it for a long time. And so I can't help but be like this daily. So yeah, I'm the same person every single day. It's consistent. If you follow me, if you go to my IG, my Facebook over the years, this is the same Sam every single day. This is what my mom loves about me the most. My friends love about me the most is I don't change. I just enhance based on what God has for me. I receive the blessings. So yes, I feel like I am.
You feel like you are being vulnerable?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because there's no reason for me not to be, bro. You can't remember, you as an interviewer, there's no potential threat. A woman as a potential love interest in my life and my future could be. A friend that I opened the door to, that has access now to my immediate circle, could be. It's not just a woman thing. It's just a human thing. You want to protect those that you care about. You want to protect your nucleus. So you pose no threat whatsoever. So of course, why would there be any type of guard up?
I mean, there's still a threat. I think if we're
Oh,
talking about, because I'm asking questions about vulnerability. I'm asking about those aspects where I feel like, because I'll be honest with you. Listen, I appreciate you. So we've spoken before behind the scenes anyway. So you already know. But I myself, this, especially this season, I've been challenging most of the cast. When I feel like when I'm hitting them with questions, I feel like they're either not understanding it or they're not getting it. I'll keep asking, and I don't mind. But I think what I'm experiencing with you at the moment, and it may just be me. What I'm experiencing is you're giving me a perfect image,
how? It's
and
not perfect. Okay, why don't you ask me this question?
yes,
What are
go
your
for it.
imperfections? You want to know somebody's
No,
perfection?
no, but I don't think you have to discuss necessarily imperfections. I think, especially for me, I think I'm always looking at seeing
You frozen, bro. Uh-oh. I guess we'll pause, audience. I wish I could see y'all's chats.
the pathology. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
there you
yeah.
go.
Sorry, the rain
Sorry,
is coming
man. You
down.
just you just
No,
came
no, the
back. I
rain.
missed
Yeah,
everything. I missed
that's
everything
right.
you just said.
I'll say it. It's a rain. It's a rain. Sorry, apologies, bro. But no, I was saying that I think what I'm experiencing is I think when I'm listening to very similar to I can't remember who else it was I was talking to. Everything becomes almost a perfect narration of Sampson, and almost as if that becomes a block to us because we're trying to get to know you, and there's ups, there's downs, there's hills, there's valleys, there's mountains.
Yeah,
That's how we deal
ton
with
of it.
human beings. But I feel like we're getting this block with you. You know what I
No,
mean?
don't feel that way. Ask me anything. Come here. This is what I wanted. I was hoping
I
you would
think it's
ask
the
me something.
answers. I think
Huh?
it's the answers we're getting. I think that's why.
I'm telling.
You know what I
I,
mean?
I wish I could answer them differently, man. But this is my
Mm.
truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you wanted more in terms of why do you think you're hesitant with being vulnerable with women? I didn't have the experiences. I told you I was a late bloomer, man. Like, it just didn't happen.
I'm a late bloomer. But it doesn't make you. If you've never been
Okay, let me ask you
hurt,
a
then
question then.
you'd be never afraid
What
of being
made
vulnerable.
what allowed you to
Yeah,
be an early riser when it comes to vulnerability?
I wasn't an early riser. I was a late one.
You just said that you
No, no,
always
no. I was
were.
late. No, I was late because when I first started, I was a person that would hold back, and I said if you look at my history, the reason why I held back was because when I was dealing with my dad, how he dealt with me made me become invulnerable because I realized my emotional needs are not gonna be met. So that's what made me struggle with being vulnerable. And it wasn't even until maybe like my second girlfriend where I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and open up a bit more. And even then, I struggled because again, when I look at the history of, I was unable to do that because I wasn't used to being able to speak about how you feel because I couldn't trust the person in front of me that when I say it, it will be honored because that's what I experienced when I was
That makes sense.
younger.
Yeah, it
So
makes
that's why I was
sense.
asking you, where did because at this point, if you've never been hurt before, let's say you blank slate Samson, you've never been hurt before, being vulnerable wouldn't be an issue, unless you've been conditioned to be invulnerable, or you've had an event that's hit you that's made you feel invulnerable. And because I didn't hear that, I think that's why I'm feeling like there's a
So
guard up
let
because
me
I'm like,
let me share
yeah,
something with you then. You
yes, please,
ready?
sir. I'm ready, sir.
So I witnessed abuse and in my family. I witnessed abuse within some of my friends' families, mental and verbal abuse, sometimes even physical. And that warfare was very hard to understand as a child, very hard to understand. And so that is one thing that allowed my heart to say, okay, I know that that doesn't feel right. I know I don't want to experience that. And so whenever someone is, I want to make sure I'm there for them. So the only way that you could truly support and love someone that's going through something like that, the way I the way I did is because I had that experience. And I was able to actually be, more of a support figure because of my own personal experiences and whoever I was in front of that was going through that particular challenge at that moment in time. So you're not going to get that on television from me, right?
Mm.
It's not for TV world to know. It's for me and the person that I love. You know, again, my ex girlfriends know my heart. They know my family. They know my struggles. They know our shared history, and so, but it empowered us. I'm not the type of person that's going to allow these types of experiences to weigh me down. I always say you can have a bad moment, but don't have a bad day. It's 24 hours, so just make sure that you're taking these moments, digesting it, spitting it right back out, saying, okay, I tasted what that was like. I know I don't want that. I don't want that for the people around me that I love. So how can I make sure I counter it, learn from it, and grow? And so, Latin is et facta et lux, it's knowledge is light. So all these experiences, just take it in, absorb that knowledge, and spread that light for yourself. Not if you don't want to do it for others, spread the light for yourself, because some people will witness it and say, okay, makes sense. But there's one example was that struggle. Um, when you lose a loved one, or lose a close friend. One of my closest friends, Omar Acox, we just finished graduating Morehouse College. He was about to go to grad school, work on his MBA program, and he was working at a movie theater during the summer. Someone came in when the movie theater was shutting down to rob it, and he tried to run out the back door. They shot him in the back. Boom, life is gone, just like that. Could have been me, could have been any of us. And that changed my life in terms of someone doing everything right and life just gone like that. So whenever I see people that just lose loved ones, just blinking an eye, I can relate to that. And there's vulnerability in that situation because we have that relatability. Um, there's also vulnerability because I've seen myself, and here's me being really real with you. Um, Spend time with a woman, even if and I'm tapping on what I said earlier, I don't want anything more than just us having fun together.
Yeah.
But then the woman becoming attached through those experiences, even though we had a level of understanding, mutual understanding that this was not going to go beyond anything serious, how to have that tough conversation, how to walk away, or do you walk away? It's because you had an agreement at the beginning.
Mm.
So I started to learn how a woman's heart differs than a man's, how her mental is always, well, I shouldn't say always, more often than not aligned with her heart. Her head and heart usually kind of, they teeter back and forth, but they're usually a similar equilibrium. Men, the mind doesn't have to ever equate and communicate with the heart. So I learned how to become more vulnerable, like women are, and match my head and my heart through love experiences. So those are just three different examples of why I have experience in this on this topic
Mm.
of vulnerability. I talked about abuse. I talked about loss of life, death, and I talked about the differences between men and women, Venus versus Mars. And hopefully that helps paint a clearer picture for you. But I'm still ready for any questions that you may have if I didn't if I didn't hit any of the notes that you were looking for.
Mm-mm. No, no, you hit the notes. You hit the notes. I was, and by all means, I know some audience don't understand why I do this, but it's because we don't. I'm not. When I ask for this, I'm never asking for to describe every single thing that's ever happened in one's life or every single detail. I don't want you to expose yourself completely, but it's oftentimes I'm looking for that piece where where you bring us into your world to make us understand why you do what you do. You know what I mean? That's the purpose of why I ask these questions. So
Yeah,
yes, if you've been through abuse, loss, those things are going to change somebody,
big time.
and they are gonna cause to be cautious around vulnerability. So I appreciate you sharing that. You know what I mean? I do. All right,
So,
cool. Oh,
hey,
go for it. Go for
on
it.
that topic, it's a good topic. I'll say this too.
Hmm.
Um, because women, especially Black women, are go through so much in life with relationships, with being underappreciated in the workplace, or not being paid fairly, or being a single mom, or always being looked at as a sexual figure, or the, the list goes on and on and on. There's hesitation from some men to get with a woman out of fear that he's going to add any extra baggage or negativity or drama to her life, even if you don't have a history of doing it. Just because, again, the way men and women are wired, we may unintentionally do something to a lady that now just compounds what she's already going through. So there's hesitation, i.e., a lack of vulnerability to get to a point where you're just trying to have an everyday regular conversation and get to know somebody, but she may look at it as, hey, this person is exactly what I need in my life right now, and latch on, and you're not trying to be what she's wanting you to be. And so there's a fear of, are we on the same page? And if not, maybe I should exit. Or if I exit, is that compounding the issues that she's going through? There's a lot of dynamics that occur in a man's mind sometimes, like mine, doing preventative maintenance, not wanting to enter a space where I think that she may not be ready to receive outcomes, positive or negative. And because I can't control everything, she can't control everything. It's like a combined effort. Hopefully that adds some of what you're looking for.
Can I ask, what has their issues got to do with you though? Why do you pick up their issues as your own?
No, they're not
Like
my.
it's just because you mentioned black women, I was like, why did you mention? Because what you're giving me right now, if I listen to some of the instances you've given, I don't know if you've noticed that you end up being almost like you saved the day. I mentioned that in my review.
You talked about the savior. No,
Save the day issue. And when you're
no,
telling
no,
these
no.
stories, it did
That's
sound a
what I'm
bit like
trying
you
to say.
saving the
I
day.
don't want to be a savior.
But it sounds
Nobody
like
wants that. Nobody wants that.
That's what be sounding like. So
No, that's what I'm
so
saying.
I'm wondering why you added that part though, because that part was you give a speech about black women and what they've gone through, and your mind is thinking about what they've gone through before you even enter a relationship with them. And I'm saying to you, why are you thinking about that? Why is that
Oh,
on
bro.
your mind?
Just got to read. You just got to read. The data is out there, man. The facts are out there. It's not just black women, it's women in general. But I'm just saying, I think when I know black women more than anything because I'm a black man, right? We date
Of
them, we love
course.
them, we marry them, we support them, we ride with them, we're ride or die, right? So, of course, I mentioned black women because me and you know black women, right? More than any
Mm.
other race, right? So it's not, we're not ignorant to the facts. We all are aware of what powerful alpha females go through on a day-to-day basis in corporate America. That's just
Mm.
one example. We're all aware of what it looks like for a single black mother to try to advance herself within her profession while she's juggling, school. we are aware of the data. And so all I'm saying, I'm speaking to the facts, the data that's out there for all of us to read. It's the world is so transparent now. I mean, if you don't Google stuff, then something's wrong, but I'm not saying you, I'm just speaking in general.
I know,
yeah. So I don't want you to think that has nothing to do with sisters in general, but because I'm a Black man, of course I know what my sisters are going through, the good and the not so good. And by the way, there's more good than not so good that our sisters are going through. Is this how it's being portrayed in social media or in music or in their own conversations over brunch or what they pray about, when they talk to God? I always typically say when I go to God, I go with more promise versus petition. I'm not really asking for something, really. I'm just saying, words of thanks and gratefulness. But some of our people, politics, court systems, everyday life, the Karens of the world that we're challenged with, just pushing out racism. I mean, it happens every single day. It's happening to us as a people, Black men, Black women, adults, children. It's just, it's tough. I mean, think about a Black mother who has a child who's not understood because the teacher that's teaching him doesn't understand his language, his background, his history. There's no equity in the classroom. They're not meeting the child where he is or where she is. There may be equality, but there's no equity. And so that Black woman, that single Black mother, has to juggle that on top of a job or two jobs and furthering education and a man that may not be doing everything he should be doing for her. And it's just like a lot. So I'm just saying, speak to the data, speak to the facts, and realize that what our people are going through, men and women. And that's all I'm saying, bro.
No, I get it now. I get it now. No, I understand. I appreciate you sharing that. I actually get it now. Sorry. I get it. I do understand what you're saying. Okay. For you, what took you on to Ready to Love?
Say that part again.
What took Sampson on to Ready to Love?
I thought it was going to be fun. Yeah, I said when I got the call, apparently they saw me on social media, and I thought it was one of my boys doing a prank on me. And so after the first call, I Googled it and found out a little bit more about the show and who Will Packer was. And I already knew who he was, but more about the different projects and shows that he's produced and directed. And so I said, okay, maybe this is legit. Maybe this is something cool. Why not? I've never done television. The only thing close to this I've done is public speaking, media relations, public relations, and modeling. So I said, okay, I could put some of my comfort zones into this pot of quote unquote love, potential love on television to see what happens. Even though knowing that, less than 5% actually walk away with something meaningful from all things reality, from what my research shows. I said it was going to be a fun experience no matter what. It gives my family and my friends, my mentees, something fun to look at over the years.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so then obviously got onto the show. You get onto the the mixer. Tell us, who's the first person that catches your eye? Who's the first person that catches your eye?
Looney.
Oh, okay. First one that catches your eye. Okay. By the end of the night, who's at the top of your list?
Looney.
Oh, okay. What is it about Looney that drew you in?
She talks with a smile.
Mm-hmm.
She's not about herself, great eye contact when she's talking. Laughter, genuine laughter. There's no faking with her. She's a real Black woman through and through. She was really just trying to get to know me, right? And so I asked questions that I wanted to know, and she asked questions that she wanted to know. It was a good exchange, and she was beautiful. Yes, she's beautiful brown skin. She's healthy skin, natural, and she's like that without makeup. So I like a woman that has that natural beauty and that self confidence as to be comfortable in her own skin. She's like that's sex appeal for me.
I hear you, bro. I'm with you on that. With you on that. Okay, so obviously that Looney was the top at the end of the first day. Who were your main connections then? So who was your main connections on the show?
Looney, Shakira, yeah, Looney, Shakira, Brandy, and Charisse were my top connections throughout the show.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more about the connection with Shakira because that was interesting.
Yeah, Shakira. First thing comes to mind is Prince Amir, her son, 7 years old. That's the reason why I gave her an aloe vera plant on our first date because at that age, kids are scraping up their knees and their elbows, and so I was just like aloe vera plant will probably be best suited for Shakira and her son. But that was a great first date that I had with her, and I know she was juggling a lot with the show, with modeling and acting, and commercials, um, and so I like the fact that she stayed busy. She didn't have a lot of idle time. So when I would talk to her in the morning, she was making a smoothie with beets. Can't stand beets, but she's all about health and wealth, which I am too. She was exercising. I am too every day. If it's at the gym, again, I'm running, biking, or swimming. So we had that health and fitness phase kind of in sync. And she was consistently calling me, texting me, and it was a good reciprocation there. So it was fun. I have no issues with how she presented herself to me, and I'm friends with her to this day. So it was a great exchange.
I love that. What made well, I say obviously, was it because her journey came to an end that you guys' connection came to an end, or is it did
Yeah,
it end before then? Okay.
yeah. I still wanted to get to know her as a on this journey. Still wanted to get to know her. She um, seems like she has a promising future, and I know that she had a character that producers got involved to promote and push and market. And the other characters around her kind of fed into it. And I think it started to get under her skin. So, like I was telling another panel or another interview, I think she was ready to go. Some of the guys agreed that night. I didn't have her, on my list to leave. She was still on my top that night. But I'm happy she did what was best for her.
Fair point. I appreciate it. And then obviously you had a connection, like you said, with Looney. Um, but we didn't get to see much. We didn't get to see much of that connection with Looney as well. I mean, I think we saw that in the very beginning with you and Looney, where she spoke a bit about her being married and etc. etc. Tell us about your connection with Looney. What was that like? What was what was going on there?
Yes, sir. There were two other dates that were really cool. One was her birthday. I show up with some roses, and we celebrate her birthday over a late lunch. Um, Again, just a robust, meaningful conversation, talking about family, talking about career. She's also into real estate, as I am. But she's young, and she's much further along the curve than I was when I was her age. And so that was always impressed. I was always impressed by that. I felt like I could actually learn something from her, regardless of age. Right? It's we had a lot of good people on the show that had you know desires and hunger to excel in life through profession, and she was like that. And her podcast, and she does. Seems like now she's a flight attendant, so she's just always keeps. She kept me guessing, but that was one date, and then another date we went on a glass blowing date, and so we was on this huge furnace. I think it went all the way up to 4,500 degrees. So that was a really romantic date, and brought her something on that date too. I forget what it was. Oh, flowers. And again, but she left with the vase that we made together. So I was blowing into the pipe, she was blowing into the pipe, and we made a nice vase in her favorite colors that's in her home today. So I'm happy that we have at least those two moments that wasn't shown. I don't know why they cut out those dates, but I had two great dates with her. She was awesome.
Okay. So I don't know if I missed it. So why did the pursuit not go this full route?
She,
Was
she
it just your
started.
eyes
She
up?
started. Yes, sir. She started to go towards justice. I think, and you saw that in my elimination day with her.
Mm,
I just said that, you know, you're not ready to love any of us, is what I said. And but I knew that her heart was where it should be. I thought she was still ready to love. But I noticed that her focus was more aligned with his. And again, I told you earlier where my focus never really was. And so I was always going to take a step back and allow what love opportunities were there to actually be fostered.
mm, okay. All right. I'm hearing that. Um, that makes sense. I'm not gonna dispute that then. Okay. So obviously that was also a Looney situation. So that came to an end, and then obviously you had a connection with Brandy. Mm. And obviously Brandy said, you are a good-looking guy. She seemed to be,
Thank you,
feeling
Brandy.
you. You know. So talk to us about that particular situation with you and Brandy, because I know that you obviously saw how Brandy and obviously Mike at a certain point also got really really close. What was you and Brandy's relationship like?
Um, I call a little honeybee, and she called me her tall palm tree. It was good. It was a good relationship. I always saw Brandy as someone I could know forever. So
Mm,
she was the most likable on the show. I think we all kind of, if we were to vote, the guys most likable, friendly, outgoing, it would have been. I think Brandy would probably take the gold medal. She just had the personality that gelled well with everyone. And I think she just kept her flight attendant hat on throughout the entire show and just made sure that she was offering the best customer service to all the gentlemen. But we all saw which way she was leaning. I saw it firsthand with Loney at that picnic when Mike was dangling the grapes over her mouth. But there were also two other dates that wasn't shown with Brandy and I. Again, the producers do a good job. Like if I have the ladies in my top and I'm in their top, you're going on one-on-one dates. You're not just in group settings. You're on one-on-one dates. So since Looney and Brandy were in my top and I was in their tops, we both went on multiple dates, but none of those dates were shown. Only one date with Brandy was shown at I think it was a Greek restaurant. And I brought her, I want to say, a journal where she could actually track down, memorable moments from all of her trips when she's, working, and some nice pens, so she can just, keep a track, like a journal log of all of her vacations and stuff. So she appreciated that. And again, just a great spirit, and just funny. She's like the homie that if she becomes a girlfriend, you wife her. It's like that friendship foundation is there, and if it becomes intimate and that chemistry is as it should be, intimately, then you put a ring on that one. So that's the impression I got from Brandy, is that she had the foundational roots for a blossoming relationship to unfold.
mm, okay. All right. So listen, it looked like it could have been going somewhere had it not been for our other brother. It could have. This is a
He might.
keeper.
He might call me just the other day, just 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. just to say what's up. Yeah, but they're always together. I'm really happy that at least one couple walked away from this journey together. So big ups, Mike. Big ups, Brandy. Mike asked me to meet him after our first episode. After we shot the Miami Mixer, he calls me up. He says, "Sam, let's get together." I say, "Okay, man." I gave him a restaurant around the corner from my crib, and I treated him to dinner, and we just shot the shit and got along, and I could tell that he was real, and we got to know each other, and I could tell where his heart was at. Even though he's been married and he has children, he's still out there opening himself up, keeping his heart open for an opportunity. And I'm just happy that he and Brandy actually are still going strong.
Okay, I'm hearing that. I like that.
Love y'all.
I like that. And then okay, so before I get obviously on to Charisse, the situation obviously with Swayze, what happened? 'Cause
Situation with who?
yeah, it was Swayze. Swayze. Apparently you invited. Apparently the story is you
Oh
invited
yeah.
Swayze
Oh
out.
man, man. So at the reunion, so me and Swayze were cool the entire season. I'm cool with
Mm-hmm.
everybody except one person. I don't have to mention names, and I want to be cool with her, but maybe next week because she's kind of up and down with me, So maybe next week we could be cool again. But with Swayze, everything was solid until the reunion. I thought at least, I was cool with him, and I was cool with him after the reunion. But I think he felt bad, and this is what happened after the reunion. Tommy was asking me about my experiences. Some of it y'all saw, some of y'all didn't see. But I was sitting on the couch with Brandy and Mike, right? And we was talking about, me gifting everybody and da 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 da. And then we were talking about why me and Sharice didn't work out. And Mike was like, well, Sampson loves a certain way and Sharice loves a certain way, da da da.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it was, hold on one second. Can you mute me?
Yeah, I can. Done. I muted you.
Sorry about that, Coach.
No, you're good.
Distracted. So what was the question? Gotta get back
No,
on.
talking about Swayze. You said obviously about that you guys got on till the reunion.
So Tommy, talking about the relationships, and I said, hey, listen, I can learn from everybody that was on this journey with me. I can learn from them all. Um, and I said I can learn from Mike. He's been through this, and I have a brother that is in Mike's shoes that is married with children. He's dating the world, and maybe won't ever settle down again. And we can learn from someone that can do it, not work out, still want to do it again. And so I was complimenting him, and I said we can even learn from Swayze. And then I said jokingly, well, maybe not Swayze. And I was laughing when I said that. And they cut that part out, of the show, but it bothered him because afterwards, when I walked into the green room, I went to give him a pound. He was like, "Hey man, no, I don't like all that fake shit, man. You why you say that?" I was like, "What? I said, "Man, you saw I was joking." So he took it serious. He took what I said serious, like I couldn't learn from him. Of course I can learn from him. I learn from kids. I learn from adults. I learn from old people. I learn from strangers and homeless people. I learn from everybody. And so I think he felt bad that I used him in my joke. And I hope that he can get over it one day. Swayze, I really do think he's a good guy. He's a public servant like I am. And I'm happy that I think he and Katie are still going strong, even though the reunion or prior to the reunion, they had a little mix up. I think afterwards, everything worked out for them. So I'm good. I hope he doesn't have any, ill feelings towards that situation and can get beyond it. I'm well beyond it. You know, like if you want to be cool, we could be cool. But if you want to just, you know, stay the way it is, and I'm good with that too. You know, I ain't forcing nothing. I don't need extra friends. I didn't join the show to make friends, but I'm trying to be cool with everybody.
So obviously, but then Caden said obviously, you know, you were out one night and you invited him out, knowing he was still with Caden, out to be with some non-POCs women. So, you
On
know,
what?
POC women,
What's that?
non-black, non-black
I
people.
thought you were like points of contact.
No, non-black women, non people of color.
People of
But he,
color.
that's what she said. She said you didn't. You invited him out knowing that he had a thing with.
Now
That's what
that
she
part,
said.
so that part is straight up lies, you know.
It's bullcrap.
So yeah,
She's
yeah, yeah,
lying.
yeah, yeah. No, well, maybe it's a misunderstanding. I shouldn't say lies. You know,
Okay.
I immediately when I think of Katie, I'm like, okay, that's not full truth whenever she speaks because she
Uh,
she admitted to being a liar on the show. You know,
mm,
a lot of people question like, you know, on the show like her honesty. They didn't know what to believe when she spoke, you know, and I think she was just playing the game, right? So I'm not going to call her a liar. I'm just going to say there was miscommunication. But yeah, I had friends in town. Uh, one Latina, one black, and one Armenian, and we weren't going to a club. You know, I'm in
okay.
the two clubs in this entire year, and both of them with Ready to Love cast. You know, one was a rap party with Justice and Alonzo at the Hard Rock, and and Looney and Kayla and Trinika and Brandy, they all came, and the other one was a producer rap party. Once you know they we started working with the new Miami cast, the second part. And so that was the
Mm,
only two times that I went to a club. So this was an invite for Swayze to hang out with us, you know, and if he wanted to, you know, just we talked about just hanging out. You know, I
mm,
invite, you know, different people out for different things, you know. And since I never hung out with Swayze like I've hung out with Mike or Randall or, you know, LJ, or whoever, Devin, I just invited him. You know, it was just his turn. And it wasn't, you know, non-people of color. Everybody that I hang out with are typically brown, you know, all of them, you know. So that's the part I was saying was just probably miscommunication. I don't know what Swayze told Cadian because I didn't speak to Cadian about the situation. Swayze did.
okay. Okay. I hear you on that. So, I mean, only the joke is the reason why Swayze has the issue with you. Then, that's the way. That's
Yeah, I have no issue with him. You know, I can learn from you, Swayze. We all can, man. You know, what we can learn from your goods and we can learn from your not so goods, bro. You know, just because you're the young guy on the show doesn't mean that we can't learn from you. Swayze was also a really funny dude, man. He was funny. You know, we all enjoyed just chatting with him. You know, with or without alcohol, the guy had you rolling. So it was nice.
okay. So, obviously, then Caden decided to expose your voice note. I mean,
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
what's that about? Talk to me. Why did
It's
you
just
voice note her?
it's just encouraging. Like you got to realize, Coach O, man, like you know, she's been through it. You know, like a lot of ladies have gone through a lot of social media like hits, like hard. And she's been the prop. Her and Cherise got it worse than anybody else combined. There's nobody close. And so I like to be a voice for anybody that I think needs it. Whether they want to receive it or not, they just let me know, block me, or say, "Hey, listen, I don't want you to call me anymore." I don't haven't gotten that from anybody, but
Mm,
now I know Katie really doesn't appreciate the phone call. That was odd for me to see her reaction. You know, like it is what it is. You know, I just was trying to encourage them. Um, you know, she has a good. I think she's. Um, I think her and Swayze are well suited for one another, and I think also she's learning to ignore the chatter, as I call it, and she's not. She used to first get on these shows and lives and respond to social media and tweets and be so negative and or defend herself. And my whole point to these ladies has been, they don't know you. So you don't have to defend yourself. You know, you don't have to speak up. You don't have to, they don't know you. You know, it'd be different if it was your friends saying this or your family saying this, people that know you, but these are perfect strangers, you know? They see you through a lens of reality TV that's produced, even though it's non-scripted, it's produced. So just let it ride. You know, so that's my encouragement. That's my advice, my guidance, particularly to the ladies, because the guys, they don't give a F. They don't care. You know, it's the ladies that's absorbing this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know, then shifting your interest then to Charisse. You know, you had your date with you had your connection with Charisse. You licked some toes, got some facials. You know, y'all seem to be connecting.
I didn't put toes in my mouth. I just
Oh, you
massaged
didn't?
your feet. No, hell
Oh,
no.
okay. Okay, that
No,
was
man, that was
Devon.
Devin.
That was Devon. Sorry,
Yes,
that was Devon. Okay, so you massage some feet. My bad. You
I
massage some
just
feet.
massaged.
So okay, so talk to us. What did you see in Charisse at first? What did you see in Charisse?
Independent, business savvy, country girl. Even though she's from Baltimore, she has some Carolina roots. I related to that,
Mm-hmm.
just being a country boy from Texas. Also saw someone that was super honest, which I respect a lot. And my biggest pet peeve is a liar. I can't stand liars.
So then you can't stand
And
Cadian.
huh?
And that stands the reason that you can't stand Cadian.
I mean, see, look at you instigating, bruh.
You said it. I didn't say you said it. I said
I didn't mention any names. I mean, I've been living 48 years. I come across hundreds of liars in my lifetime, you know, tons.
but flow on, sir. Flow on.
Yeah, but Charisse, there's a lot of young Black business women that can learn a lot from a woman like Charisse. There's a digital exclusive that came out by OWN of our entire date at her salon. Y'all should watch it. For the audience, if you haven't seen it, you'll see your boy opening up. You'll see your boy just like revealing. And but remember, you know, the producers create characters. All right, so um, uh, but there was an awesome opportunity there between Cerise and I as she was relaxing me, doing the facial. It was a really good date. Again, the audience didn't get to see it unless you saw the entire clip. But again, it's on YouTube if you want to see it. And I think she even posted it on her page. But I'm just happy that we was able to get. And by the way, you want some tea?
Listen, I can never say no to tea. Go for it. As a tea runner
So
famous.
Sharice knew probably 2 weeks before that date that I was giving her a lot less time than she needed. Right? So this was my subtle way of basically saying we've reached our max, you know. But I knew if we get to the end together, remember, because Looney is with Brandy. I mean, Looney went towards Justice, and I had to eliminate her, unfortunately. Brandy went towards Mike. Shakira was already kicked off at the dinner. And so it was just me and Sharice at this point. But I knew if we get towards the end, I'm going to have my one-on-one with my brother and whoever is with me, where I'm doing yoga and swimming. And then Sharice would have her spend time, her quality time, beyond her father meeting me at her salon. So it's a promoting opportunity for Sharice to have her salon on national television. So I had a huge desire to want that to happen. My brother being on TV with me, Dominique, Austin, Texas. I love you, bro. He's coming here to visit me soon for Thanksgiving. And then also Sharice having Logan Skincare, her lip balm and everything being highlighted, her services being highlighted on national television, which we did accomplish. And so now we have that for the rest of our lives. So regardless of us getting along or not in the future, we got to that point where a Black business owner, someone who's been working on it for 2 decades, is able to showcase and highlight her skill sets, her talents, her hard work, her determination on national television. No better network to do it than Oprah Winfrey Network. So that was really a goal. And I think she wanted that too, just based on conversations we were having offline. She was happy that that took place. So it was a win. No matter what happened on the show in terms of relationships, this Black business owner, this minority, this woman was able to showcase Logan Skincare. So big ups to her.
So you did it again.
Huh? I can't hear you.
I said you did it again.
What?
Why did you tell the story with you as the hero in the story, Sampson?
It's not a hero, man. It's the truth.
It's a hero story. It was a hero story.
It's the truth.
It was a hero story.
No, it's not, man. Hey, tell me this. Wouldn't you have done the same thing?
Huh?
What if you
Yeah,
were,
but I
if you
wouldn't have
had
gone
an
about
opportunity-
talking about it in that particular way. It's the fact that you tell it as the hero again.
No, man. She wanted it too.
Okay.
She's a hero.
Okay.
If I tell you this much, when it comes to her business, if I'm the hero, she's a shero because we did this together. It was joint. There is nothing wrong with that. I'm happy
There
that
is
happened
if you consistently always end up being a hero in a story as you
How
tell
is it a hero? I have nothing to gain from it. What do I gain from it?
What do you gain from it? The nice guy, a particular image.
It's
The
not a nice guy
plaudits?
image.
The
No.
plaudits?
Oh, let me tell you about the nice guy image, by the way. Can I tell you about this nice guy, good guy thing?
You can.
All throughout this journey, this show, I showed my they call it ARSE, ARSE, right? I showed it every episode, but the cameras, they took out every single time where I was like checking someone or calling something out, or how can you not say thank you for a gift? Who raised you? I was showing the bad side of Sampson all throughout the journey, but it's cut out. And so this looked like, it shows up at the very end, like it just boils up. Shoot, I speak my mind on things I don't like or things that are foreign or obtuse to me every single day. Like my mentees get a real coach. Like if you mess up, I'm gonna say, hey man, you messed up, and this is what you did. I'm the Belichick type of coaching style. Like I do not soothe you and just give you the Joel Osteen version of the Bible. You know what I'm saying? I'm fire and fury as well. You know what I'm saying? So, the ladies saw it, the guys saw it in the gentleman's lounge. Like I just let loose with Tommy. I was drinking whiskey with the fellas. Randall will tell you, Michael, have anybody on and be like, the Sampson, like, yeah, I exposed the good and the not so good of Sampson all throughout the season, Coach Joe. Y'all just didn't see it because it was cut out. Y'all, only thing y'all saw was the very end where I was with Sharice. It's like, oh, that's the side of Sampson he was trying to hide. The mask comes off. Man, that mask was off on episode 1. It was there, and it's there every single day of my life. So now there's some more tea for you right there.
So
I can't control the cut, man.
If the mask was off from day one, did you play? Can you admit to playing Sharice?
No, I'm not playing her, man. I committed to the process. So let me tell you, on day one, when I was
But did
approached
she
by
know
producers,
that? On day one, did she know your mask was off?
no, nobody. You can't go to. Okay, so if you don't know the rules of this show, and I didn't know until day one, because the specifics are not in the contract.
Mm-hmm.
The specifics aren't even in the fine print. I went back and read it. So, and there's a long contract, by the way, in terms of what basically the do's and the don'ts, what can get you in trouble. But you do not tell, you cannot tell them I want to be self-eliminated. They're going to come back and tell you the girls will eliminate you. Mm-hmm. All right. Or they'll say that can be entertained towards the end of the show, which they told me, but not on day one. So they saw my position right after Calvin had left. Dave was watching my face. He was wondering why I wasn't on camera. I was in the bathrooms texting my boys, like, this ain't for me. I'm going to try to self-eliminate. Blah, 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 blah. Just like texting my boys away from the cameras, in the bathroom, avoiding the women, avoiding the scene. That's the reason why you don't see me too much at the Miami Mixer. I was avoiding everything. So when the producers come to me, when I finally come out the bathroom, it's like, Sam, but we're noticing your facial expressions. Are you not happy? I say, no, it's a cool time. I'm getting along with the people, but there's no one here for me. I would love to be the first one to go. Well, someone had already left. It was Calvin. How would it look for two guys to go on day one? One due to a family emergency, which was legit, by the way. He wasn't just trying to avoid. And then for me to self-eliminate because I didn't see anybody there for me. So you can't tell the ladies, hey, I'm not feeling you. You just can't do that like that. You have to be eliminated by them. So the advice they gave me was simple. Continue to be you, continue to be authentic. It's okay. I'll be me. I'll still be genuine and have a good conversation and bring a gift because that's what I do on dates. And when they see that I'm no longer interested, and which they all saw that I wasn't interested, I'll be at the bottom. So they control me leaving, but they didn't put me on the bottom. So I didn't get to leave until the very end. If you notice, like I was never up for elimination throughout the entire show until I told Brandy that she was kind of wild and spunky to, fast for me. That was at the getaway. Then Brandy came up and me and Swayze were facing elimination. And Tommy said, LJ has to go because he didn't show up for love. I was ready. I was like, what? But Tommy took my opportunity to finally get off the damn show. So that was my opportunity. Was right there, but I had to continue to go through.
So why the frustration with Charisse then?
With what frustration?
Well, the dinner.
I didn't like the. You talking about the cast dinner or the last date?
No, just the dinner with Charisse.
The elimination date for me.
Yeah,
because I was feeling a couple of things. It was really late. I was supposed to pick up my brother from the airport because Charisse was supposed to meet my family. There's a whole scene of that was cut out that y'all didn't see prior to the escalation of emotions on both of our part. And I was just like, why am I being eliminated by someone that doesn't get along with either sex? I should be told that I'm not ready to love by Tommy. And so I was just like, I wanted it to be more respected, because I got along with everybody except one person. And so I'd rather send Brandy to send me home, send Jamala to send me home, send, the ladies that, got to know me, but I know that it's a show. And they need ratings and they need drama. So they sent the person that was my last connection. I totally get it. But remember, Brandy was my connection too. I was in Brandy's top throughout the entire show. So she could have been her. So I always said to myself, hopefully whoever sends me home is someone that knows me and we actually had a good time. The same way it was with me and Looney. They didn't show me and Looney's dates, but they sent me on her elimination. And I was able to say with grace, Looney, you're not ready to love any of us. And so I was happy that happened for Looney. I was just hoping it would happen for me too. And it didn't. But as it relates to the conversation, there's just a whole lot that wasn't seen. I walked away from that table, Kojo, and I spent about 5 minutes in the bathroom and I was debating, should I just go and meet up my brother and go party for a little bit? Because they sent an Uber to go pick them up from the airport. Damn shame, but I was pissed off at the producers for that because I never have family getting picked up by an Uber. When they come into my town, family and friends, they get picked up by me, no matter what. And so I was bothered by that. I was bothered they didn't send Tommy or one of the girls to eliminate me. I gave them an entire season after they knew that I didn't want to be on this entire season. after they knew I wanted to be gone on day one. I was bothered that they send the person that is not getting along with me, and it's not getting along with hardly anybody, guys or girls, to eliminate me. So I was pissed. And you want to see some real Sampson? That was the real Sampson, and I was real from day one with them. I mean, my emotions were up and down. They just decided to cut all that out and make me look like the nice guy, and I'm not the nice guy. I'm the real guy. And so, I mean, that's just, I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. You know what I'm saying? So this is how it went down, bro.
Okay, so why would Tommy say? Why would Tommy say that you're not ready to love when we haven't seen Tommy do that for anybody? Tommy doesn't say that they're not ready to love by anybody. He always sends out somebody to you. And what is the big issue? In fact, yes, do that first question. Why was Tommy in the mix of things? Because Tommy hasn't said that to anybody. He always sends somebody else out. I don't
oh man, if you go back to the episodes, just pay attention to the episodes. Tommy eliminates. There's bubble dates. There's elimination dates, but Tommy also eliminates. Tommy eliminated LJ. Tommy eliminated Dominica. Tommy eliminated Sean on the first episode. Tommy eliminated. So every season, including ours, Tommy eliminates. Again, it's wishful thinking. I just wanted there to be, since I'm pretty sure Tommy knew, just like everybody knew, that I was ready to go. It wasn't a secret. I just wish that there was a little bit. I went through the entire journey. I played the game properly. I treated the ladies with respect. I treated the ladies like a gentleman, and like a gentleman should. And I just wanted my exit to be, more graceful, but don't cut out the part where they show me being, Kojo, when I was watching the show with my family, with my friends, or, alone or with fellow castmates, I'm like, damn, that's not me. They painted me to be this, like the Tiger Woods Ready to Love, or the Kobe Bryant of Ready to Love before he cheated, and it just made me out to be this persona that didn't have flaws. And I got a ton of them. They painted me to be this perfect gentleman, and I'm a gentleman, but I'm damn that perfect. But that's how they painted me. So I'm looking at the same thing y'all looking at, like, who is this guy? He's so damn lovable and perfect. Got to be something wrong with this dude. Sure enough, at the end, they show a different side of me that I was showing all along. So again, the guys, when you have them on, ask them, how was Sampson in the gentleman's lounge? The girls, ask them specifically, did you see Sampson get turned up anywhere? Ask them about the cast dinner. I was bothered when we started talking about gifts. They showed my facial expression some, but I ripped. At the end of that dinner, I ripped open. I had to cut Tommy off. I said, Tommy, hold up. I'm still speaking. They cut all that out, and I was amped. So I just wish they showed, this man with all of his emotions. Ooh. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Monday Night Football, bro. My bad. So they showed me with, they didn't show me with all my emotions throughout the show, man. And that's what I wish they did. That way it wouldn't have been a shocker. Even my own family were like, dang, Sampson, they got you looking all glorified, and like they didn't recognize.
But you wouldn't have known the edit. So before you exit the show, you would have not known the edit, how they're going to edit you. So the situation with Cerise, when you exit the show, bro, you of course blew up in that situation. But it's like, bro, at the end of the day, you got what you wanted. You wanted to be off the show. She sent you off the show. But now you actually want to be able to control how you get sent off the show. It's like, bro, but you wanted to be off since day one. Now they're sending you off the show like you wanted. Yeah. Now they're sending you off the way they say they're getting you off the show. I thought you'd been like, do you know what, Sharice? I appreciate it. Deuces, I'm out. But instead, you gave Sharice a mouthful about how you were, holding what everybody had said, and you were giving her a chance. but you weren't given a chance because you weren't interested in anybody on the show. So tell me how that works. You're not interested in anybody on the show from day one, pretty much. Then you don't tell Charisse this until a particular time and point in the show. But then you turn around at the very dinner at the end and tell her, I've ignored what everybody else has said. Well, why would you even need to ignore what everyone else has said? You don't want her. But then you do want her by the reunion.
Yeah. So
I'm
again,
confused.
yeah. So it's. I totally see what y'all saw, but there's a 30 minutes that before that conversation that we all saw, that you saw, that you're talking about, was making you confused. There's a whole swath just cut out, deleted. I was talking to somebody, I forget which interview it was, but the food's on the table. This is after I come back from the bathroom and I tell the producers, I don't know if I'm gonna leave and go party with my brother. I don't know if I'm gonna go back to the table. But when I came back to the table, I said, is this seat taken? I wanted to start fresh over. I wanted her to bring down the decibels. I wanted to have a calm conversation. It wasn't going that way. I'm trying to control it. I'm really good at controlling calm situations, maintaining calm situations, just through effective communication. And at one point, I thought this was produced where they wanted me to just blow up. I was just like, why are we rehashing the same thing over and over again? Like, I don't want to talk about the girls, what they said. I don't want to talk about what the guys said. So they finally got the part that they could produce together, and I was just like, hey, listen, if I listened to the guys, you'd have been gone a long time ago. And I didn't want guys to determine her fate. I wanted her to be able to determine her own fate with me or anyone. And so it was, remember, Ready to Love is an opportunity to date, to learn about yourself, to learn about others, to see if there's an opportunity for love to be created, right? Through that dating experience, through this crazy, wild dating experience. And so she still had an opportunity to learn. I still had an opportunity to learn, even though we weren't suited for one another. It was just, again, a large swath of that scene that led up to that moment cut. And that was just the only part where I matched her energies. Only part of that dinner. I was finally able to eat. She was already drinking. She was already buzzing. I get it. She called me up. She was frustrated. She was like, where are you at? I've been gone. I was like, I'm in the pool swimming. I didn't even know we was going to have a date tonight. And I was also bothered. This is the other part, Kojo. One of the ladies that was in that lounge with her and Tommy called me up on the way to the date to say, Sampson, they're lying about you and you're about to be barbecued. One of the ladies in that lounge calls me on the way to my elimination date to give me a heads up on what's about to happen, saying that they're lying against me. I already told you earlier what I can't stand most in life is someone lying, especially with my name attached to it. So I ain't gonna say who, I'm not gonna say what the lie was, but people can kind of figure out just based on watching the entire season who's lying, and then take it from there. But so it's a collaboration of a lot of things that made me kind of bothered walking into that date. Try to keep it together, but it was too much for me at that point. It was way too much, bro. I'm usually calm and cool, usually composed, but that was too much.
But why is okay? So, but why does we're gonna BBQ you get you to a place where you're gonna be frustrated? Because again,
because I don't,
because go.
But listen, I can take fault for that because usually no matter what, I can still keep a disposition that is, all right, cool, you got it, done. But there was a part of me that wanted to match because I had a history with Charisse over the phone where whether she was having a problem with Kadian or Zoe or just misunderstandings, and she would call me and I would listen and help. And she was emotional and rightfully so. I was always there for her. And so for her to have this way with me on camera that was so different than off camera, I thought it was produced. I don't know who was in her ear, but I felt like somebody was telling her, instructing her what to do. One of the producers was sitting next to her when I came out of the bathroom in the middle of the scene. That typically doesn't happen, right? And it's just the cameras waiting for Sampson to come back, basically. But one of the producers sitting right there talking to her as I re-entered the table. So I'm just like wondering what is really going on. Is there coaching? We want you to talk about this more. And you've heard this from different cast members on different seasons, especially on my season, where they felt like it's still produced. Non-scripted, yes, but still produced. And they felt like producers were doing something to put us against one another. And so that's what I think was happening. I'm not sure, but I think that's what was happening, because they just picked the worst of that date versus everything else I was trying to do to bring it back down to my energy and not her energy. They only took the part where I was matching her energy and said, okay, we're running with that. But I wish they took the bulk, the other 90% of the day, that wasn't her energy. It was my energy, which was typical of my energy throughout the entire season. So I wasn't trying to throw anything in her face, Kojo, mentioning, what the guys have said. I was just trying to draw a parallel. I was trying to make it very elementary for her to understand. Like, if you want to talk about the girls, let's talk about the guys. She's like, no, the ladies have the power. And I was like, it's not about power. I didn't have power to eliminate Looney, this is not about power. This is about a person, and so remember who we are, Charisse, like off camera. Remember who we are on all of our dates. Just because of what you possibly heard from someone that you've been fighting with all season, and you take it as truth, and now you come to me on a date and be like, she said this, and she said this, and the lady said this. I'm like, listen, if I took what the guys were saying, we wouldn't even be at this conversation right now. So she didn't even understand the parallel that I was drawing. So I don't want to continue to talk about Charisse, because it's just a situation I think that would just make the situation for her more difficult. And I hope that she just has moved on. I hope she's moved on.
She can handle it. Don't worry about Charisse. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, again, I didn't get the answer. I mean, I don't think you actually answered the question, but I think I'm gonna say maybe you did, and I didn't really hear it properly. So you're saying you matched her energy. Okay. So I think he's got something that he's doing.
I'm sorry. Yeah, match the energy.
Right. Go ahead. Yeah. So you're talking about obviously matching his energy, and it's not making sense. Okay, so by the reunion time, you're saying Charisse should have known that you were feeling her, but you weren't feeling her because you weren't interested. So
Charisse knew I wasn't feeling her the entire season. She knew I wasn't opening up. She knew from the very beginning. It was more me just picking up the phone, hearing what she was going through. Whenever she would call me, it was never really about us. It was about others on the show, and I didn't really care, because I was just going through the motions. I was going through the process. So she knew early on that I wasn't feeling her. And I'm not going to say that she was just trying to get to the end as well to promote her business. I don't know if she was or not. I don't think she was. I do think that she was, ready to love. But she knew I wasn't her person. So
why at the reunion are you trying to explain that if you really did like her, she should know that you like her because you were spending all that time with her on the phone at specific times? What are you trying to achieve?
So I was on the. It's real simple, man. It's real simple. It's the dating journey. It's the dating. It's the competition. It's the dating journey. So I was on the phone not just with her. I was on the phone with Brandy, Looney, Shakira, Trinika too. I was just talking. So the only difference, Kojo, with Shakira is that I've spoke with her more. That was the only difference.
So then how do you
hold on. Calm down, man. It's TV, man. It's just TV.
No. How do you expect her to know? Bro, listen. Sampson, I appreciate you, but this
How do
is
you expect her
madness
to
to me.
know, bro?
No, bro,
She
bro,
knew
bro.
that
Come
was
on, come
all
on,
friendship vibes
come
from the
on,
beginning. Charisse knew it was
come
all
on.
friendship from the beginning,
But
Kojo.
then why are
There's
you? So
nothing.
then why? No, because now you contradicted yourself because on the reunion, you explained that Sharice should know how you feel about her based upon the times of when you were calling and you calling her. You've just sat here and told me, well, actually, to be honest, Shakira is the one that actually you spent most of the time really kind of talking to. So how the hell is Sharice gonna know
Never
that
said,
you're the
never
one?
said Shakira. Hold on, wait. Never said Shakira got most of my time.
Okay, fine.
Never
So
said
you
that.
spoke to Sharice most then, is that what we're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Just get it straight, man. I don't want you
when
to
you
get
were
confused.
no wait, so when you were speaking to Sharice most, what were you trying to achieve?
Nothing. It was just, she was, remember, Sharice would call me all the time. I would call her, she would call me. But again, the conversations were not about us. The conversations were about what she was experiencing. We weren't talking about us, man. I mean, again, I'm not
So
going to
why are we
say what
explaining
her
on the
intent was.
reunion? So why are
What?
we explaining on the reunion that
It's
she
the
should know how you feel about her?
man, it's I'm not trying to save face, I'm not trying to save her. This is it's just TV, man. It's just TV, bro. It's
So
just TV, man.
so you're saying that was you acting.
I wasn't acting. It was just, it's, a lot of it's cut out. A lot of it's edited. But what I said is true. I was on the phone with her more than others. That's true. But the content of what was being discussed, there's no depth there. There was never depth.
So Sharice was lying then because she knew when she was saying about how she didn't know how you felt about her and you not telling the other woman that she's the one.
I
She was lying.
truly 100% believe Sharice knew exactly.
So Sharice was lying.
Huh?
Then Sharice was lying because she was.
I'm not
because
calling
she's making
Sharice
out.
a liar. You're not going to get that from me.
Why can't you call her a liar?
No. I'm not going to call her a liar.
If you can't call her a liar, then I have to look at you because what you're really saying to me.
You can look at me all you want. I'm not calling a woman a liar. Just not going to do it.
What's that going to
do? I'm not going to call her a liar.
What?
I don't know what she was really feeling.
Sampson,
bro, I'm telling Kojo. I'm gonna tell you this really quick.
Come on, bro.
I do not know what someone's intentions are, man. It's television.
It doesn't matter. A lie's a lie.
But on television, I don't know if someone is. I don't know if Sharice.
No, Sampson. You spent enough time with her to know if it's a lie or not.
I kind of believe. I don't want to say liar. I'm just going to say that she knew that I wasn't feeling her. She knew that.
And if you knew that, why would you answer it in that way? That's my problem. If you know that you've told her, I'm not feeling you from the very jump, and then she comes out and says...
Again, Kojo, that was not said. Kojo, no one said that. Now you're putting stuff into my mouth, bro. I never said to Sharice, hold on, slow down. I want you to bring down your emotions. I never said to Sharice...
but go on.
Yes, you are right now. Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
I never said to Sharice...
This is me really be calm.
Okay, well, good. Well, I want you. You're getting very excited and animated.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Yeah. So, I never told Sharice I'm not interested in you. I never told Brandy I'm not interested in you. I never told Looney I'm not interested in you, and I never told Shakira I'm not interested in you. You know what I was doing? I was dating them.
You're playing in my face. You're playing in my face, Sampson.
Oh my
You're playing in my face.
You're
playing in my face, Sampson. What you did? Bro, what are you did? No, you're actually playing in my face. What you did? Samson.
You're even try me. Something that's not there, Coach.
No, you're moving mad. You're moving very mad.
Something that's not there, man.
No, you ain't gonna play me. You're moving very mad. You are very mad. And you know you're moving mad. I told you
earlier, Coach Joe, I was happy that black woman's business was able to get on the show. I'm very happy for that. That's probably the biggest win. And by the way, the other thing that they were supposed to do that I was bothered with, my boy, Max Pierre, he has a pizza company in Miami called Simply Good Pizza. I wanted that to be on the show. I did all the paperwork. He vetted it. He's the owner. Me and him used to promote clubs together. I call him Miami Max. They call me South Beach Sam in my club promotion days. And they didn't put that on. So I was just like, Oprah and Will Packer are all about supporting black-owned businesses. So since they didn't get him on, I was just like, okay, here's an opportunity to get this black woman on. And sure enough, we got that, and it's in the pocket. So I'm happy for her. I'm happy. Would have been double happy if my boy's business got on. Simply Good Pizza, I'm plugging it. Simply Good Pizza, Max Pierre, Miami Beach, go visit. And he's Haitian, by the way, good brother, and one of my closest friends. If I get married, he's going to be there. But anyway, 1 out of 2 ain't bad, man. So remember, it's TV. I played the game. I didn't want to be on the show to begin with. The ladies knew that. I was very surface. You know, I wasn't fake. I was still me. I was still authentic, still Sampson, still being a gentleman, still gifting. This is who I am as a man. But no, the ladies knew that I wasn't there for them. They all knew it. They all knew my conversations were quick. Yes, I spent more time on the phone with Sharice because she was calling more than the others. You know, remember, Looney was going towards Justice. Brandy was going towards Mike. Shakira was eliminated early. And so all it was Sharice. So, of course, I'm having more conversations with her, you know. That was it. But again, the conversations were not about us. So I was also wondering, you know, if she's here for other reasons. So I don't care about that though, because again, the producers didn't care that I wanted to be off to begin with. They didn't care.
So are you admitting that by the reunion? Are you admitting by the reunion you played in all our faces? Because you answered the question as if Sharisa know where you stood. So were you acting in that moment? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, it's never acting. I was never acting. I was always honest. Every single day, I was honest on the camera.
Okay. So if you're always honest, right? Why answer her question about when she wanted you to say where you stood with her? Why would you answer it in a way that said you should know where I stand with you because of the amount of times I was giving you calls? Why would you answer it in that way? That's what I'm trying to answer.
I totally get what you're saying. Good point. It's all that the audience heard because it's all that the edit shows. There's a whole lot more in that conversation when I was talking with Tommy and talking with the ladies on the couch beyond just I'm talking with you early throughout the date and at the end of the day, FaceTiming you, calling you, texting you. That's all that y'all got to hear, you know. But you know, there's more to the verbiage that was shared in that scene that y'all didn't get to see. And it was on the lines of, you know, where my head was at, you know, what I was looking forward to moving beyond the show with a new relationship. You know, it was, and y'all heard about that, you know, with the person that I met.
No,
but
what's that got to do with the answer?
What part?
What's that got to do with the fact that when you answered her question, you said
that was a fact, though.
You should know by the amount of times I called you where I really stand with you. What's that got to do with that?
This where I stood with you was basically giving her the time that she was requesting. The time that she needed, I gave her. The time that anybody needed on the show, I gave them. So if she's calling me more, she's giving me time.
She's telling you that time that she was asking for, it's not about her playing the game. For her, she was doing it in the sense of she liked you.
Kojo, I told you earlier.
Are you saying that she didn't like you?
I told you earlier, Kojo, the conversations that we had off camera are very different than the conversations we had on camera. So Sharice and I know that the content, I'm going to repeat this because you're missing a very key part. The content between Sharice and I was never at the level of a relationship. Never would be, because she always knew that I wasn't interested in her that level, in that way. She said throughout the show, he's not opening up. He's not opening up. You know, it was very surface. I was not opening up because I never saw myself with her. Why open up to someone you're not going to see yourself with? So was I giving her time? Of course I was giving her time. It's the process. I should have been gone a long time ago. But you know, what I said was still facts.
Gave her time.
Kojo, what I gave her was still, what I said was still factual.
No,
I answered the phones. No. I called for everybody. I didn't treat her any differently than the other ladies. Okay, let's make that clear. She got attention the same way other girls got attention. The reason why she got more is because I was her only connection. She was calling me more. You know,
you was acting. That's what I'm trying to understand.
No, it was never.
You have to choose one of the two.
Okay, Kojo.
You have to choose one of the two.
If you want to go with that route, we can go. What else do you want to talk about? Because I'm not going to say I acted, because I was just being real. I was being real with every single one of the people that was on the show.
Sampson, how can you say you're being real when you just told us that you was playing with everybody? You didn't really care about that.
I never said I was playing. No, you said that. I didn't say that.
I ain't gonna lie to you, you're showing your tail a little bit. All right, listen. So you had a girlfriend on the show. How did we get into a girlfriend situation when you were meant to be dating these people on the show?
I met her in January,
Okay.
and she attends my church. We didn't date until the Sunday after we wrapped. So it's not really a serious thing, just dating, but I don't date more than one person at a time. So she has my focus right now. And she was just here in town. I did a panel discussion on alpha females and alpha males with one of your homegirls, Crystal Jordan.
Crystal, yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. Devin came out and did that with me, and I met his girlfriend. But yeah, she was cool, man. She gives back to the community like I do. She's a professional woman, has her own business. There's a lot of exchanges abroad in terms of business. I learned a lot from her. A lot of us do in the church. She's a giver, and she's very inspiring. So yeah, we started being focused on one another that Sunday while my brother was still in town, right? After we wrapped up. So it worked out perfectly, actually. So no, there was no relationship prior to. It just happened right after the show.
So obviously you're now boyfriend and girlfriend because that's why you said it on the show. I don't know if you actually are, or you meant when you said it on the show, maybe you meant you just seeing
I mean,
something.
but yeah, we're exclusive. Yeah, exclusively dating one another.
Okay.
She's
So
not
was
dating
that
anyone. I'm not dating anyone. That's
okay?
what I mean by exclusive.
Oh, okay. So I mean, was that long? I mean, obviously you guys started talking. Well, you met in January, but you actually started, I guess, getting to know each other after the show had wrapped. So between that time and then the reunion, you made her girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
they're right. Yeah, right. Exactly right. Towards
Okay.
the end.
I do have to ask you a serious question. Just because of the amount of times that you've mentioned, I would have never asked this, but you've mentioned black women, skin, everything so many times, Samson. So you know
I
what I'm
mentioned
about to
what?
ask. You've mentioned black women, black skin, loving black women, black skin, da 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 da, quite a lot of times on this interview. So I'm gonna have to ask that question only because of the amount of times you asked it, right? The amount
Yeah,
of times you said it. That's the only reason I'm
yeah.
asking. So I now got to ask: is she a black woman?
She's half black, half Latina.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, and remember, I'm half and half too. You know what I'm saying? Like I
I
don't
mean,
look
no
at race
beef.
like that, man. But
I
yeah,
know I'm not
she's
saying that because
and
just
by the
because you
way, she
mention it
considers
quite a lot.
herself she considers herself a black woman, but like
Okay,
she honors both sides of her heritage the same way I do.
that's fine.
But yeah, I mean, if you look at her, you think she's black. You wouldn't even know that she can speak Spanish,
Okay,
like me.
all right, so
Yeah,
that's fair.
we have a lot
I
in
ain't even
common.
mad at. I ain't even
Yeah, you
mad at. I
can't be
just wanted
mad
to
at
make
it.
sure because
Even if you weren't mad at it, it'd be on you, not me.
I mean the amount of times you mentioned it, I could hold you to something. It was a little bit you
What
especially
can
a
you
lot.
hold me to if I'm mixed?
I'll be asking. No, not mixed, but I'll be asking questions. If you went, I'll be asking questions because why would you mention black women and black women's skin so many times? I would ask questions.
What could you ask though?
That's a question for another day. Maybe we should
No,
see
it's
me after
not.
the
No,
show.
it's a question right now because I want to know how you
I don't
think.
have to answer. You're the one
I
you're
know
bigger
you
than me.
don't because you're talking to an intelligent brother right here, and I would check you so
Yeah,
quick.
not about to see that, Samson.
I would check
Yeah,
you
not
so
about that,
quick.
Samson.
I
No,
know you got your audience on your side, but I'm asking you that question because what could you actually say to me?
I
Just
know what I
because I
could ask
mentioned
you. There's a
color.
lot more questions I could ask you.
No, you
So let
cannot.
me ask you a question. What have you learned from this
I wish you would
process?
ask me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
wish
for
you would
another
ask
day.
me, man.
No, no. What have you learned from this particular
I'll let you get off on that one.
process?
Say that
Okay.
again.
What have you learned from this particular process?
What about learned?
Yeah.
That you got to read a contract thoroughly
Mm-hmm.
before you get on the show. Uh, I learned that some people get on this show to promote brands and businesses. I'm not saying it's particularly my season, but I'm learning that other people have done it just through the grapevine.
Mm-hmm.
Other cast members have reached out to me from other previous seasons, uh, and those names will remain anonymous, guys and girls. But it seems like a close knit family, this RTL family. But what else have I learned? that even though something says, hey, yeah, you're going to be you. You're going to be you because it's non-scripted. So, whatever we put out there, it's going to be you. I can still see how they could put together characters because y'all never got to see mean Sampson or the upset Sampson or the frustrated Sampson. All y'all saw was composed, calm, cool, the perfect Tiger Woods or Kobe Bryant black brother, and never got to see me throughout the series just being Sampson. So I see that it can still be produced, that you still don't have ultimate control on the final edit. And also learned that what's confirmed and the type of person that I associate with is still the case. Like I still get along with the same type of people that I've always gotten along with in life, in my 20s, 30s, and now 40s. So it's something I'm always going to be able to look back on and still be grateful for. Because the good thing, Kojo, is that as a result of doing this, once that first episode aired, I've been getting some good opportunities, for TV and film that I'm entertaining. And so I never told you this, but I kind of semi-retire. I'm working because I love my work. I love the rewarding work that we do in government, but I don't have to work anymore. I became liquid several years ago. And so now I can just pursue acting if the right opportunity comes my way. So I'm in talks with some good people, some agents, and we'll see what pans out for me. So I'm no regrets. I'm happy that I met some good people on both the production side and my cast members. And 19 out of 20 is not bad. I would do it again and again if the setting was right.
I appreciate it. I'm pleasantly happy because you know what, the show is about also opportunities. As much as it is a show, it's also about opportunities, and hopefully people can grow and gain another door they can enter into. So, hey, listen, Mike from early on, a couple of seasons way back, also was on the show, and he also has gone into acting. We see him on Netflix and everything like that as well. So,
oh yeah, Mike Bless,
doors open. Yeah, great guy.
Yeah, he was on a show with Owen Wilson, a TV show.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yes.
So he's doing some things, and some of the people that he's working with. It's going to be a fun opportunity because I have a lot of Atlanta roots through Morehouse, of course, and you got Tyler Perry Studios there now. So
absolutely,
I'm open. I'm just happy that a lot of people don't see me as a 48-year-old man. They think I'm younger than 48, but I think that's going to work for me in my favor.
You could easily be a 25-year-old. I can't lie to you.
I'll say 5 years younger. You know what I'm saying? But I did have to bust out my ID a couple of times in the show at the very beginning. No one wanted to believe me, But yeah, I'm pushing 50 soon, man.
No, I appreciate it, bro. Listen, hopefully when I'm in Atlanta next, I can chop it up with you, bro. You know what I mean?
Or Miami, or Houston, wherever you want, wherever you come into town, man, I can fly. I would love to host you and introduce you to some good people, man.
Hey, listen, I ain't got a girl, so you can introduce me to whoever you want. But yeah,
I was going to ask you, man. Dude, because I saw you twerking on one of your IGs. I was like, I don't know too many men that twerk. I said, I'm just wondering if you like guys or girls. So you like women.
What do you think? You think I'm gay?
No, I'm just asking. Oh, you go both ways?
Nigga, are you? That's how I know you've been mad. You've been waiting to try and get me for one. I hear you. I understand. You wanted to get at me. I appreciate how you man.
I told some of the cast members, like, Sam, you're gonna get into Kojo, huh? I was like, no, I'm gonna see if he comes, and I'm gonna see if he comes. I was ready for you, but you didn't come for me. But I saw you twerking the other day. I was like, none of my boys twerk. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about Kojo.
Get into it.
Huh?
They need to get into it. They need to get into it. Tell them to see me. help with
All
the
right,
rhythm in
good,
the
man. I'm
bedroom.
glad you
Telling
like
now.
women, man. I got some good women in my circles, man. So yeah, if you're ever around, and I'll definitely introduce you to some good people.
So long as they're not too close to you, because you know if you're not accountable, they're not accountable. So I appreciate you.
Classy. Yeah, all of them are classy, bro.
All right, I appreciate you. All right, listen, audience, thank you so much for coming out. Came out 800 strong. I'm gonna jump on to the next live with Kayla. Sampson, thank you very much. We'll chop it up after as well. You know, I appreciate you, and you know, I appreciate you taking some of the hits I gave. Audience, it's been good. We're about to jump over to the next live with Kayla. Get over there. We're gonna have a half an hour coming. Sampson, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Enjoy the football, and we'll see you guys very, very soon.